We currently have a crazy deal going on over at poodlecfb.com. If you use code BACKTOSCHOOL, all lowercase with the number 2 in the middle, you get 50% off the annual plan. And if you use code BACKTOSCHOOL2025, again, all lowercase with the number 2, you get 40% off the monthly plan. That is the best deal we've ever ran over there. Make sure to take advantage. This is a locked-in grandfather deal, so if you lock yourself into this deal, you have it for the lifetime of your membership. So come check it out, sign up, don't miss out on the best deal we've ever ran. Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Poodle back with another CFB 26 video, and in today's video, I'm going over EA secretly nerfed player progression. Now, guys, before we get into the video, we're currently running our best deal ever over on poodlecfb.com. If you use code half off, all lowercase, no spaces, you get 50% off the annual plan or the monthly plan, your choice. Whatever you want, you get half off of any plans over on poodlecfb.com. Go check it out. We just launched a position change series, which takes you through every position in CFB and allows you to properly understand the way to exploit and change a player's position to maximize their skill caps, their ratings, their abilities, and everything else, and all their ideal position changes. For all you guys who love dealing with position changes, that is the series for you. We have our ultimate CFB guide that's being updated, and that launched about a month ago. So go check it out. All of our spreadsheets, thousands of lines of spreadsheets over there. If you haven't already joined, you're probably falling behind your dynasty. Come join thousands of members in the best and fastest growing CFB community. Don't forget, code half off gets you 50% off any plan. Go check it out. Let's get into the video. Over in the Discord chat, we were talking, and a few guys noticed in their recent off-season advance that they weren't getting as many tokens as usual with the typical talent developer stack. Now, these are these weird changes, and if you guys followed our channel last year in our community, you know that we found out a lot of these weird secret changes. So, yes, there's title updates, yes, there's public interaction with EA and the changes in the game. We all know this. But sometimes, and for anyone who's been around any video game, not just EA for years, you know that there's things that they publicly mention, and then there's like quick hot fixes that kind of just go under the radar. We saw it a lot recruiting last year, with visits last year, with overalls, with secret changes. So this is another one that we came across in Discord and we were like, wait a minute, our offseason just happened and I feel like I didn't get as many tokens. And this is somewhat of an easier thing to track because you know that every offseason is pretty consistent. Like you get 80 quarterback points, you get 60 here, a player gets drafted, you get 150 over here, and you were kind of tracking it. And teams are becoming 99 overalls very, very quickly. And after yesterday's or this week's advance and updates that happened, we are noticing that things may have changed. So I ran some tests with the team that I usually like to choose to test it. Now, again, this team does not impact the video at all, but I usually do it with Alabama for two reasons why this makes sense to test with Alabama. They have a talent developer head coach that's relatively developed. You get the 100 pre-order points, and they have enough players to be drafted. So the problem with picking a team that's not good to test this is that you're not going to have anyone who gets drafted yet, so it's impossible to test the draft bonus. But for anyone who's been using talent developer this year, you kind of have an idea of the skill points you get every single offseason. So when choosing a coach like the Bama coach, and you go in there and you test this out, you have a rough idea of where you hit at every position. So it's a very easy thing to notice very quickly. So to set this test up, guys, and this does change some things depending on how we have this outcome on this live test, but this does change a few things that you're going to want to be very, very careful with going forward. So let's go to talent developer and let's add a few packages. First, we're going to want tier 1 on all of them to make sure that we get the draft bonuses. And then let's throw the second one here as well, which has always been pretty important. And for good measure, we'll toss some more on here. So we spent all of our points. We're going to advance to the offseason and then break down the talent and skill points that we do get for using talent developer so you guys can see. Now, this has no coordinator stacks. Of course, coordinator stacks help it, but in these tests, you're able to see it very clearly with just the head coach. All right, so we've reached the offseason. Let's go to our draft results. So the first thing you want to do is correlate where you have players drafted. Again, why Bama is such a good choice is because you actually have players drafted. So we have left tackle, right guard, DT, Sam, left edge, wide receiver. But for the purpose of this video, let's focus on the guys rounds 1 through 3. Most important here, primarily because these are going to be able to give you the biggest bonus, so they're the most noticeable. So if we take a look at the roster, Ryan Williams got 11 points throughout the season. About normal, give or take. But let's go look at a position that we actually had drafted like left tackle. As you see, Proctor was a guy that did get drafted, and we have Casey Poe, David Franks, and we have Hickman, who now have about 25, 22, and 12 so far. So let's assume these guys being freshmen, they got the boost. So they have the talent developer freshman, sophomore advance quicker, and they had a player drafted in the first round. They only got 25 points. Now, I will say, while it is lower than what it's been, it is more realistic. That's my first thought here, but we'll keep going through. So let's go to DT. We had some players drafted there. So as you see, we have Tim Keenan drafted, and the guys behind him got 23 and 18. Pretty similar to first rounder, when first rounder was a lot bigger. So I had an instance in year one in one of my online dynasties where a guy had Bama. They had 3 first-round wide receivers, and all of these freshmen on here got like 150 to 200 skill points in one season for 3 freshmen in the first round, which implies that every first rounder was about 50 points. So that's where I'm kind of operating with right now compared to left tackle. That this left tackle only got them about 25 points, 23 points, but that's also stacked with talent developer tier 2, which is freshman, sophomore, increase faster, and that's stacked with the fact that it seems like guys regardless, like let's go to a position that got nothing, like tight end, guys regardless got like 5 to 12 points just for being on the team during the regular season. So for a first rounder, they really only got like an extra 12, 15 skill points so far based on that, which is significantly lower. Even if you triple stack 3 talent developers, are they sitting at like 55, 60? If you're doing like that 12 to 20-ish range of what they got times 3, are they sitting between like 36 and 60? So that's very interesting to me in terms of like, this changes a lot if that's the fact. So let's go through and go to the training results period and see how that changes. But at bare minimum, my first noticeable thing was that the draft results definitely were nerfed as a whole. Okay, so let's go to the next week and go check out with the next week, I say, but the training results phase. Let's go check out training results phase, because now this changes a lot. So for all you guys who have manual progression on and you can see your point stack up, if you were to store your draft results points and you went into the training results phase, you roughly had an idea of how many skill points you had at a position that was drafted. So for me, when doing this, I noticed a lot of the times that when I had a player drafted in the first round and I went to training results phase, I'd always have 100+ points at that position. And very commonly, if I had multiple guys drafted, I'd be sitting closer to 120, 150. If you had multiple talent developer coaches, you'd be sitting close to 200. So let's go here, let's sim through this, and let's take a look at what we actually are and what we're looking at each single roster spot. So let's go to training results. Again, let's start at quarterback here. So the quarterback had no one drafted. They simply had talent developer tier 2 activated, which means that younger guys grow quicker. Now, again, from my experience, Keelan Russell was finishing closer to 70 and 80 at the end of advances. And I'd like to use the same team because I start to recognize the players. Let's go to halfback. Only 45, 59, 54. Now, this might seem normal to you, but for people who have talent developer pretty built up, you were kind of accustomed to having crazy off seasons. So wide receiver, another spot here. Let's see. Again, across the board, sitting in that 50 to 60 range. All pretty consistent. Now let's go to a player that was drafted in the first round. So our first round guys technically got us an increase of about 15 to 20 at this position. Now let's go over to left edge. We have 40 to 50. Let's check out DT. We had some second rounders. DT, a tad higher on this guy who's 69 and this one who's 51. So we're looking at a slight increase here across the board, but I'm not noticing like crazy marginal differences between first and second, which I guess is fine. Quarterback, 45, 73, 66. So pretty consistent here. But what I'm noticing is that you're kind of losing the ceiling. The floor is still pretty solid, and this changes quite a bit. Now, does this still mean talent developer is worth it? Yes, of course it's still worth it, because if you stack it with if we had stacked it with three of the coordinators, we probably would have got about 105 here on these guys. However, in the past, had we stacked it, we'd be closer to like 120, 150 at this juncture. And that's what I was noticing a lot. Now, what really changes here? First off, this does help the fact of what people have been complaining about. So that's good. People have been complaining about that it's too easy to get 9 an overall team. It takes me 3 seasons and it's too easy. Now, manual progression is still going to let you get to 9 overall, because manual progression allows you to still utilize these points, for instance, in any way you want. So like if you correctly spend your points, you'll realize how easy it is to get to a 9 overall. So let's go upgrade someone to show you guys what I'm talking about in regards to this. So with manual, like I said, manual's always been a little bit easier, or quite a bit easier to get to 9 overall. But this changes 2 different fronts, manual and automatic upgrading, right? So with manual, things are still going to be good, really good, because of course you could still do it your way. So of course, if you want to go this way and you want to go with this route of just upgrading like the cheap stuff, like IQ and hands and stuff like that, you'll quickly be able to get a player up to a 99 overall. See, like if you just upgrade what you want, as you guys saw with the IQ, I upgraded that. It kind of stopped there a bit as we capped. And now route running. If you spend it the way you want, look at this guy. 95 overall. He's a 95 overall with only about 50 points. Had this been automatic upgrading, he would have probably only been like a 91, 92, because you would have upgraded some of the nonsense that you didn't want. You probably would have upgraded some abilities. So with manual upgrading, you still should be fine, and that's where talent developer is still going to be super, super OP regardless, because if you're going to get enough to spend what you want, which is fine. Now, if you're in a league that does have it on automatic, it's going to be a little more problematic because you won't hit the high overalls quickly, but you still need that XP, because if you're in an automatic league, it's kind of, there's a floor and a ceiling here. So although your ceiling dropped a little bit, your floor with talent developer is still a lot higher, because people who don't have it will just deal with automatic upgrading without the packages. Now, I do think this does skew things slight a bit to make recruiting a little bit more important. I still think if I had to put like on a bar, talent developer, like player progression still king, and recruiting's here now. Before it was like this, I think it's closer to here now. That's where I stand on it now. It seems like it was dialed back just a bit, and I've seen so many complaints. So many complaints, people saying, this is dumb. In 3 seasons in, I'm 99 overall. This is stupid. Some guy got 200 points in 1 week. This is unrealistic. How does a guy have a freshman redshirt wide receiver who's 99 overall already? This is ridiculous, right? So I think this definitely helps, especially because it was kind of like mindless and skillless. That was like what was cool about it. You could just get talent developer maxed out and then just kind of cycle through and have a 99 overall team without having to recruit. So initial testing, I've ran 3 file tests with this, and across the board, my eye test has told me that things are down slightly across the board, just a bit, right? I mean, you guys can see this, right? Look at this. We're all sitting relatively below, for the most part, about 55 and below, with a few outliers of 60 and 70, a few, but everything's sitting closer to that 40 to 58 range, which for a full season advance typically wasn't where we stood. And anyone who's been playing can tell you that. So I want you guys over the next few days, and comment down below, hit me up in Discord, tweet at me, kind of document what goes on in your dynasty, especially if you're hitting the off season, and let me know if you're noticing the same thing. I'd love to see what people look like when they have 3 first-round wide receivers go, or 3 first-round linemen or something, 3 first-round quarterbacks. I want to see what that looks like when you have them all go at the same time with talent developer to see what you're getting. Because it's possible that the stacking is still pretty useful, but they may have dialed it back on like the initial jump unless you have it all stacked, which again is really good. This is how it should look. It should look like this, where let's hit auto progress Y on all of them. Well, I guess I gotta hold it. Let's hit, I never auto progress, so it's not something I do frequently. Let's auto progress the whole roster. This is how it should look. +2, +5, +6, +5, +6, +4. This is on the more realistic scale, +3, +2 on overalls, with the occasional +9 or the crazy ones, but this is how it was in CFB 25. CFB 26, I've seen some wild stuff, like +16, +12, +13, on like in a very uncommon way, right? So I'm happy with this. I think this is a very interesting kind of like study that we could do right now with some of this. But for my initial findings, it seems like across the board it's dialed back, which is a great change. I'm not against it. I'm not against a change like this, but it does mean you definitely want to kind of beeline for your coordinator talent developers as soon as possible, and try not to split it and or wait for them if that's the route you're going. It also means that your normal devs, per se, right? Let's go find a normal dev here. Do we have one normal dev? Only +1. This guy has a +1 overall. He's a normal dev. This also means your normal devs, +4. Your normal devs won't be growing probably as quick as they once did, +1. Because with our talent developer build, me and Cafe over on poodlecfb.com kind of came to the conclusion that normal devs can get drafted first round with talent developer stacked. So this means that talent developer isn't going to kind of like super generate like impact +3. All the stars +9, +7, +5. And then the impact is 2. Impact, we have 6, 2. So it seems like impact now, +3, is going to skew towards that 1 to 3 to 4 range, while stars is going to skew into that 5 to 8 range. And if we had an elite to show you guys, I would, but I don't see an elite on here. Somehow Ryan Williams isn't an elite. But it seems like elites will probably skew closer to that 10+ range, which is better. This is a lot better. It was very apparent that it was a tad broken and too overpowered. So if this is the case, that's great, guys. Let me know down below what you guys have seen. Run some tests. Let me know. I've ran 3 now with the same team, with the same group of players, and I keep getting the same results. So that's that, guys. Thanks so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed. Remember, code HALFOFF gets you 50% off any plan on poodlecfb.com. If you want to be a part of studies like this, data, behind-the-scene write-ups, video explanations, and everything for all this, and not have to focus on me, watch these videos or anything, just go consume the most digestible content out there for CFB. poodlecfb.com is the place. Code HALFOFF. Make sure to use it. And of course, if you want to play any daily fantasy, use code poodlecfb over on Chalkboard. The link will be down below, or the link, either one, in the description, or the YouTube pinned comment section, you will get a free $20. No deposit, no credit card, no strings attached. You sign up, you get free $20. Fun way to play Saturday college football, Sunday football, Thursday night football, Monday night football. Go check it out, guys. I'm out. Peace.